review has decided to grace you with his presence once more with another top 10 list, which for some reason isn't Christmas themed. But let's try keeping it all in the Christmas spirit, shall we? So with that in mind, here we have the top 10 assholes in gaming. Usual rules apply, but this list won't include any playable characters, because if you look at it, the player will always win the biggest asshole award each time, hands down. I hate you all. Merry Christmas, everyone! Tom Nook. Tom Nook kicks us off this time at number 10. I've already mentioned him before in a previous top 10, but my theories of him still remain. If you're unaware, then I'm convinced that he's part of the Mafia, as his sole purpose is to make you owe him tons of money for stuff you didn't ask for. Every time you pay off the mortgage on your house, he just decides to build an extension on it without your permission, and then expects you to foot the bill. And throughout the whole time, he's got this "F*** you, you're worthless" expression on his face. This is how the Mafia works, by the way. I was seriously expecting him to show up at my house at one point and go, "Hey, that's a really nice garden you've got going on back there." Shame if something were to happen to it. Tom Nook. More like Don Nook. Moira Brown. What were some of the last few favours someone asked you to do? Help move something? Run down to the shops to pick up some bread or milk? Maybe pick up a friend at the airport? Maybe run through a minefield and seriously cripple a leg? Wait, what? Yeah, Moira Brown is writing the most dangerous book known to man, and it all starts with you as her guinea pig. Some of the research data that she requires involves you going through a minefield and bringing back a sample, though she fails to mention the sniper has taken up residence there, getting severely injured and breaking several limbs, fighting off mole rats with a stick, getting so irradiated that any ordinary human would shoot you out of pity, and just generally giving you dangerous tasks, all in the name of the betterment of the human race. I can think of something that'll help out mankind. There, so when do I get the Nobel Peace Prize? Dr. Fetus. Super Meat Boy is a very tough game as it is, and many a time will you find yourself getting frustrated by how often you'll be getting yourself killed in many a hilarious way. But to add insult to injury, there's this evil doctor who's actually a fetus in a jam jar, don't think too much into it, who's kidnapped your girlfriend who's made of bandages, again don't think too much into it, and now you've got to spend the rest of the game trying to save her. But every time you save her, you haven't actually saved her. It's the whole, "Sorry Mario, but our princess is in another castle" shtick all over again. Who knew that unborn infants could be such assholes?
Lane Goodman.
The G-Man. Though he's by far the most interesting character of the series, due to the fact that we know almost nothing about him, it must be remembered, however, that he is a massive asshole. He spends almost all of his time getting you to jump through hoops whilst making you not realise that you are actually doing his bidding, and then when all's said and done, he just throws you back into the freezer because he's made that decision for you. Here's an idea: instead of getting all clingy and wanting me to yourself, why don't you just f*** off and let me carry on with my physics research, yeah? Or am I being unreasonable? Vaas. One of the most loved villains in gaming, Vaas is almost certainly also one of the biggest assholes in gaming. He's insane, unpredictable, and will stop at nothing in trying to kill you in many an elaborate way. He's the type of person who will only kill you once you've suffered enough, both physically and mentally, whether that be through torture, or by killing your friends and family right in front of you first before moving in for the kill. And as Team America taught us, an asshole's sole purpose is to shit all over everything, and that's what Vaas solely exists for. GLaDOS! What starts out as a scientific experiment to see how you cope with all of the different puzzles involved in the portal gun, GLaDOS then decides that enough is enough, and now it's time to kill off the main character, whilst making it out to be part of standard procedure. But when Cheryl was able to escape from GLaDOS and supposedly destroy her, GLaDOS came back with a vengeance, and this time, it's personal. In fact, she spends most of Portal 2 trying to actively kill the main character, or at the very least, hinder you from progressing through the story. She wants you to die, and that's all her programming allows for. Junko Enoshima. Junko is despair in human form. It's all she feels, it's all she thinks about, and her ultimate goal is to paint the world in despair. Equipped with both incredible intelligence and having a ridiculous amount of resources at her disposal, Junko has dedicated her life towards making every man, woman and child on the planet suffer from the most darkest of despairs. Why? Because that's what she does. She can't be reasoned with, but you can bet that she has only your worst nightmare in mind. There is nothing that she won't consider, and no dirty trick is too dirty for her, and so that's why Arsehole Enoshima is in at number 4.
It was those 3 words to save my life.
Atlas! No, not the gaming company. Cough, released Persona 5 already. Cough, cough. Atlas is one of the main villains in the BioShock series, or more specifically, BioShock 1 and those 2 DLCs from BioShock Infinite. Though he's really Frank Fontaine, Atlas can be described quite easily as being one hell of an evil bastard. Despite initiating a revolution against Andrew Ryan, Atlas isn't exactly unknown for such acts as holding a kitten at gunpoint in order to blackmail you into doing something. Okay, that never happens, but I wouldn't put it past him. At the end of the day, he wants total and complete control of Rapture and its people through the use of mind control and genetic enhancement weaponry, and he's quite happy to f*** you over in the process. Which does happen on more than one occasion.
It takes 2, baby. It takes 2, baby.
Sachiko! Essentially the antagonist of the franchise, Sachiko is the spirit of a little girl who appears to be friendly and reliable, as well as sweet and innocent. But in truth, all she wants to see is as many unsuspecting people as possible to suffer the most horrific and painful death imaginable, and then force their spirits to go through the experience over and over again for all eternity. Being in complete control of the Heavenly Host Elementary School box world, she's known to change the scenery around to mess with people's heads, force them into having hallucinations to make them think that they're being killed, or one of their friends is being killed, or actively possessing them into actually killing themselves, but only if she thinks that they weren't going to do it at some point. Sometimes she'll get directly involved, sometimes she'll just use other tormented spirits to do the dirty work for her, but through it all, she's the definition of malevolence in its purest form, and one hell of an asshole. Which means, of course, that...
One more time.
Handsome Jack! And finally in at number 1 is the devilishly handsome Jack himself. Being the head of the Hyperion Corporation means that he has access to an almost unlimited stockpile of resources, loader bots and cash, and he uses all of this to make more cash and ruin people's lives because what else is money for? The thing is with Hyperion though, is that it seems to be a company requirement to be a complete asshole when you apply to join, and your standing in the organisation depends entirely on how much of a you are as well, so it's no wonder that the assiest asshole of them all is in charge. Jack will use most of his time in Borderlands 2 trying to ruin your day, kill your friends, destroy your favourite settlement because he wants to test out a new high-powered cannon, run off with your wife, if you have one, and whenever he has a free second, he'll call you up and tell you about how much he hates you and wants you to kill yourself. In fact, there's actually a side mission where he contracts you to kill yourself. He's one hell of a dick and one hell of an asshole, and that's why Handsome Jack wins the biggest asshole award on this top 10 list. And we're out of time here, but if you're thinking of running for next year's biggest asshole award, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, and get following me on Twitter. See you next time, assholes!
Sometimes I think this life is killing me. Sometimes I think this life is killing me. I swear it's killing me.